Welcome to Leaders Speak, the Facebook Live series of Tata Power. We have with us today Mr. Haseed Kaji, Chief Digital and Information Officer of Tata Power. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How is COVID-19 pandemic fast-tracking digital transformation in companies?
I think many of us would have got a WhatsApp message recently, which talked about how is digital transformation accelerating in our companies and who's leading that. And the choices given were CEO, CTO, COVID-19. So I think in a way that says it all. If we reflect on the last decade, I think digital technology started coming into the marketplace and beginning to influence each one of us in a very different way. And we have all experienced that in the way we have changed the banking system, the way we shop, from a utilities point of view, the way we pay our bills, the way we get information about outages, and so on. So digital has really changed our lives over the years. But I think this pandemic, the unfortunate incident that has happened to all of us, is going to now bring a different acceleration in areas where digital had not touched significantly. To give an example, our whole education system really did not transition to the adoption of digital in a significant way. And I think very soon we are going to see blended learning, or what is known as a flipped classroom, where the teachers would be focused on more of not imparting learning but imparting knowledge and engage with the students in a very different way. At Tata Power, when it comes to learning, we have embarked on that journey. Over the past couple of years, we have taken our learning completely online, and that's helping all the employees to not just learn anytime, but also they are facilitated by mentors who are able to intervene based on the challenges that they face during the course of their learning. So there are areas where transformation is going to have a huge impact, and at the same time it's going to give companies force them to identify new ways of how to influence people's lives. Because at the end of the day, when we look at transformation at the core of it is about a change that we all experience. And if you really go to the bottom of it, it's about humanizing technology. And that humanizing technology, broadly consists of three things. It is about understanding the empathy of people, appreciating the user journeys, and through that discovering what is the need that is emerging in the new world. Aligned to that understanding of empathy is the value creation aspect that one starts thinking about it. And this value creation, let's remember, is not the same for everyone. So depending on the situation, depending on the segment of the population, the value proposition is very different. And all this, the empathy and the value creation, is where then technology has a very important role to play. So companies increasingly will focus on how to use the technology, which I said over the past 10 years have now come to a level of maturity. We have seen the benefits of it. I think the acceleration will be in the widespread adoption and humanizing of the technology. However, there is one thing which is a potential challenge that we will face in doing this. if we're talking of humanizing technology and understanding human behavior, inherently it implies that social distancing will be something that could impede the progress of what the kind of transformation and the far-reaching transformation that we want to achieve. So it will be very interesting to see how, if these restrictions stay for a longer period of time, we are able to achieve the scale of transformation over a longer period of time.
So you've spoken about how COVID-19 crisis is pushing organizations deeper into digital transformation. How did this pandemic impact Tata Power's digital strategy?
So at Tata Power, we had embarked upon a digital transformation, I would say about 3 years back. We invested in multiple digital initiatives which were broadly in 3 areas. One was to do with asset performance. As we know, in Tata Power, we have significant number of assets for our generation business, for our transmission and distribution business, and renewable businesses. So the focus of digital transformation was to ensure that the assets that we have, the performance of those assets, the efficiency of those assets would make a significant impact on the performance of the company. The second area has been around customer and employee experience. And here our focus was to introduce new digital channels for our customers in the way they engage with Tata Power, for knowing about their bills, for payment of bills, for answering the queries about their bills. We introduced chatbots, voice bots. So multiple digital channels were introduced, and all of these were introduced in a way that the customer would get an integrated experience irrespective of the channel that they would use. On the same lines, we gave a lot of emphasis on employee experience, because I think that is something which is very fundamental. As we enhance the employee experience through digital, it then helps us in introducing new experiences for our external stakeholders. So that's again an area that we paid a lot of importance. And finally, it was about workforce productivity and safety. And in this context, there were many initiatives that we embarked upon to enhance the productivity by simplifying our processes, by automating our processes, by using data to help us understand the effectiveness of the processes and improve the productivity of the people. So these were initiatives that we embarked, as I said, over the past 3 years. The way the pandemic is going to accelerate the transformation is as we launch into new businesses like the microgrid, the EV charging infrastructure management, rooftop solar. I think the spread of Tata Power is across now almost all states of the country. And with some of the recent initiatives that the government has announced around the transformation of DISCOMs, we would see Tata Power being part of those initiatives in a big way. To enable many of those transformations that the government has announced, I think technology and specifically digital transformation will play a very important role, because that's the game-changing opportunity that we have, and that's where I see Tata Power accelerating the digital transformation journey that it has already embarked upon.
What steps has Tata Power taken amidst this crisis to facilitate the change which employees working from home and those deployed on field are experiencing?
So if we see the nature of Tata Power's business, it's in the essential services. And from the early days, we equipped our entire infrastructure. And when I say infrastructure, it is the infrastructure that the employees of the company had with them to be able to work from office as well as to work from home. And the entire operating environment for each of those employees using that infrastructure was equipped to enable not just accessing enterprise applications, but it also helped us in ensuring that we are able to collaborate with each other even while whether we were at work or whether we are at home. We used to conduct the business continuity plan drills even during the normalcy prior to the current pandemic, and that helped us to really flip over into the new mode of working very easily. We were able to address the needs of many of our employees that were working remotely. So the whole communication infrastructure capability that we had put in place, the robustness and the scalability of that infrastructure, I think really came into helping all of us work very seamlessly, transition into the new model without much of challenges. So I think based on this learning, if I were to share what are the 2 or 3 things that organization should adopt, I think creating a digital spine is something which will enable us to be future ready. It will put in place a strong backbone for the whole network infrastructure, for the cybersecurity enablement of that infrastructure and the applications that run on it. And very important is the experience of the employees to make sure that they are able to be as effective and productive whether they are working from office or from home. So I think that's something that we all should focus on, and the investments pay off in the long run.
Did Tata Power face any challenges in transforming rapidly and adapting seamlessly to the digital way of life?
Quite surprisingly, we didn't face, for the reasons that I just shared, the BCP drills that we did. And I think hats off to the employees in the IT team. They lived up to the challenges and really went out of the way to make sure that the whole transition was seamless for everybody at Tata Power. So no major challenges, a lot of learnings definitely, and it has helped us become more, I would say, resilient to such surprises, honestly.
Sir, how, according to you, will the digital landscape change post the COVID-19 crisis?
I think the digital landscape will change very importantly in the context of the adoption of digital across the organization. I think the appreciation that now employees have of how digital can make a difference in areas that we typically were not leveraging digital to that extent, right? Very simple is we were very comfortable using a video conferencing system that was present in our conference rooms, right? The entire organization now has transitioned to a virtual collaboration platform. So that's the kind of digital adoption that people have got comfortable with. People have got comfortable to sharing documents online, co-creating documents, and this is all happening very seamlessly. So one is, I think, the change that we will experience in the adoption of digital in the way we work. The second big difference that I see is that there will be a surge in our eagerness to learn new digital ways and new digital technology, and which is very encouraging. What we have accelerated is the whole learning of digital technologies. So to give you an example, we have now made the whole digital analytics learning to be a pan-organization phenomena. This makes sure that analytics is embedded in every part of the business, and we will use data to benefit from asset performance to customer experience to workforce productivity. So it's the whole digital approach is going to be very different going forward. It will be more democratized across the organization, and that will truly then enable transformation to happen seamlessly and at the pace that will make a difference to business and society.
Can you please share some of the key highlights or key learnings of your team during the lockdown?
I think the key highlights and learnings that my team went through was, how to stay close to employees, to every stakeholder, let me put it this way. And it didn't matter to them which time of the day it was. So that learning, and it's an experiential learning, I think we all appreciate the importance of it. But the same learning, when we translate it in the context of our customers, in the context of society, because we, being in an essential services, what we provide, lighting up lives, right, is what Tata Power is all about. And I think that will make the whole organization more deeply embedded into every part of the society, and hopefully we would be in future known as a company that provides sustainable living to the world. Thank you for the interaction. Stay safe, stay healthy.